Hello, my name is Sam Jones, and this is our call center data. Now, I was asked to give the pieces of data that were highlighted out and which ones were most important and why we chose what we did. Well, as you can see here, we chose all the ones that were directly correlated with how fast and how efficient everything was done in the company. Things that each and every company needs more and more of. First up, we chose calls per product. Now, we chose this because we felt like it was important to know how much calls were coming in for each project for a number of reasons. First of all, it could let us know how much money we were making in each department. It also is very important from a marketing position. Let's say we wanted more toasters to be sold. We would give this data to our marketers and they would run campaigns for more toasters to be sold. Now, it also could help with time waste and time management. Let's say down here at Fridges, where the lease are being sold. They have about 90 employees or agents working there. But over here in televisions, where the most calls and most products are being sold, they only have 60. You would take some agents from down here in Fridge, and we would put them over here in television. Now this will help bolster sales, and it could also help the company save money by preventing time waste, and it could help time management. Next, we chose calls per agent. Now, we felt like this was important because at each and every agent we want to take the most amount of calls as possible. It helps us know where we are lacking and which agents are doing the best and which ones need to get those numbers up. We also chose how many calls were answered. The red is no and the orange is yes. Now, we felt like this was very important, especially from like a customer satisfaction rating, because it let us know how many of the customers were actually being helped and how many were being ignored. It also is a good indication of how much work is actually getting done. Lastly, we used average satisfaction rating. Now, we felt like this was one of the most important pieces of all of our data dashboard because with higher satisfaction rating, the highest being 4, that meant it was directly correlated with higher number of sales. Now lower, the lowest on here being 3, was directly correlated with less sales. Now, we want everything to be up at 4, meaning so we could have more sales. And it could also tell us that if we have a lower satisfaction rating, we might take a financial hit. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brady Harris, and I am currently presenting our findings for the call center data. I wanted to thank my team member, Sam, for his intro to this data, and I'm grateful for his help. I will then be followed by Ethan Radford, who has also been super helpful with this project and our findings, and he will be outlining the things that we can improve on. I will be outlining the areas that we are doing well as a call center. First, I wanted to start with our average satisfaction rating. Our agents, according to our data here, right in the middle on the bottom, shows us that our agents are receiving no less than 3s out of 5. We're very pleased with this because it shows that out of their many, many calls, they are getting consistent and higher scores. They're not receiving lows, and the low scores are outliers in our data. We're very pleased with this because out of their many calls, they're performing very well and they're helping our customers greatly. The second area that we're very, very pleased with is the amount of calls we are getting per agent. Down here at the bottom with the least amount of calls is our agent Greg. He has taken 208 calls. We're very pleased with this because even though that's the lowest number, we're pleased that the rest of our agents are taking more than 208. Our highest agent over here on the end is Stuart, and he is taking 230 calls. So between 208 and 230 calls, we're very pleased to see that range is very, very close together, And it shows us that no matter what agents we have, they are receiving a steady amount and consistent amount of phone calls regarding products and how they can help customers. Lastly, the area that we are very proud about and that is doing very well is specifically our agent Stuart. He is doing well in accordance to the data that we found about him. He has the most calls, as we mentioned before, and out of the amount of calls that he has taken, he has a very, very good average satisfaction score for those. He does not have the highest score, but with the amount of calls that he has taken, it averages out to be very close, if not within the top 3. Very grateful for Stuart and his hard work, and these are the 3 areas that we are doing very well as a call center. Thank you.
So for my part of the presentation, we're talking about what we recommend and what needs to change to become better and for the client to keep using our company as its call center. So the first thing we can take a look at here is the calls per product. As you can see, the television and the air conditioner departments are the highest call departments, and the washing machine and the refrigerator departments are the least call departments. As you can see, there's about a 20 to 60 call difference between the low end and the high end. I think what we can do is we can level out the amount of calls per department, and I say a good average is around 360, so that each department is getting about 360 calls. I think that's beneficial so we can average out these sales and just not spend too much time on one department over the other. I think the next thing we can look at is the average answer speed in seconds. As you can see, it's about 60 to 70 seconds, and I think that is way too long for a customer that needs to be able to reach someone at the call center. If we can significantly decrease this, not only will we be able to maximize the amount of calls, but we'll also improve our customer satisfaction because they won't have to wait as long to get a hold of somebody in the call center. I think the last thing we can look at here is the average satisfaction rating. As you can see, it's mostly 3s down here, and we have a couple 4s at the top. I think that we should try to aim at an average of the customer satisfaction rating, or caller satisfaction rating, of about 4. And there's a few things that we can do to help this. I think what we can do is reevaluate the scripts that the callers are using and reevaluate the training process, the employee training process, to make it more consumer friendly or customer centered. And I think we can also provide incentives to the callers, just make sure that they're motivated as well to do better. And I think lastly, we'll just make it a company goal, and maybe have a reward as well. A company goal to make it around an average of 4 for a customer rating. And I think that in conclusion, I think the client should continue to use us as its call center, because see, if we look at these 3 things, this calls per product, just leveling out these calls to make it around 360. If we significantly decrease the answer time, and this will allow us to get more calls in as well and be able to increase and bump up this average satisfaction rating, and be able to focus on a training process that is more consumer oriented and consumer friendly, then I think that everything will be a lot more beneficial and productive. And yeah, that's my part of the presentation. Thank you.